All right. It's mid-December and I'm going to do a little bit of work. I'm putting cement in on this side of the gate. This is going into the backyard. You can see the engine hoist with the fifth wheel hitch on it. That's what I load into the back of my truck when we go hook up to the fifth wheel to travel, do whatever. So I want a concrete pad for that to roll around on, make it a lot easier to load into the back of the truck since I'm not young anymore and my dimensions are growing in the center instead of on the extremities the way they should be. Now here's the really fun part. I'm using a full-size tripod as a selfie stick. Maybe I'm just lazy and didn't want to go get the selfie stick. So another one of the projects that I've got going is out here. I'm going to switch you around. The landscapers planted these way too close to the driveway, so the roots are starting to cause bulge. You can see a little bulge in the driveway there. This one's going to do the same thing. You can see it's already starting to tip up. But the best part was that they buried this tree too shallow. It's hard to tell, but if you look at that house that's way back in the background, right there, you can see how far back this tree leans. So what I'm doing is I'm cleaning out in front of it. I'm building a small retaining wall. I'm going to fill that in with dirt. I'm going to get it really wet. I'm going to take a come along, pull my truck out on the street, try and pull that upright. Then I'm going to take a couple of T-posts I'm going to plant here and right there and pull the tree towards the street, hopefully get it a little more upright. So that's another one of the little projects I'm going to be working on. And then this, you can see the rock's very thin. They use very little rock in the yard. It's supposed to be 2 inches. I think they might have gotten 1.5 inches. That one was doing a real number on the driveway, so I cut it down. I'm going to use the engine hoist to pull out that stump, so that ought to be fun. This one had an unfortunate incident with a piece of plywood, so its growth was a little stunted, but that might be a good thing. It's just far enough back it might not do damage to the garage, so we might be able to keep that one. And that'll also open up this area so I can drive through and drive into the backyard. Going into the backyard, you can see that I got a construction zone going over here. I got garbage and stuff that needs to get tended to, rocks that we're going to use for assorted whatnot. This is the retaining wall block I got set aside for the project out front. This is the dirt that's left over from the yard from when we put in the rock. I'm building a retaining wall to use up a whole bunch of that dirt and to have something on this side. So all I'm doing, you can see, I'm not using leveling sand or anything. This so-called dirt that they have here really isn't. It's more like concrete. So once I get it cleared down and it's already compacted, I just take and level that out good. Put a little notch in the back for the back of the retaining wall block. Have these little ridges on them, and to lock them together when you stack them. They're just gravity bricks. And so I'm putting a little notch into the dirt to take and hang on to it, keep it from coming forward. Even though the rock, once the rock goes up against it, it's certainly not going to move. And it's been staying in place really well. They say not to go more than, like, I think it's 4 high. I haven't had any issues. Nothing's moved. Of course, once this dirt gets wet and sets in place, it's, like I say, it's a lot like concrete. So it's not like I'm going to have a major landslide or anything less. We already had a huge rainfall. Didn't go anywhere. Washed down the hill a little bit. I don't know if that counts. So yeah, that's this project over here. Those are the 2 that I'm going to be working on. Or 3, I should say, I guess. This one, I can only move so much rock in a day. I do have a junk back, so I'm going to try and get this back far enough that I can get some of that landscaping fabric out of there, get the lift moved and the fifth wheel hitch out of the way, so I can start moving dirt, because I need to make a space, or make space for the cement to sit you can see that gate is very close to being, 5 inches or so from the bottom of the dirt everywhere except up on the edge. And that's basically the space that I want. I want to put the concrete up to maybe an inch below the gate. That's as far away from it as I want it. And I want to put wheels on those gates to hold them upright, because these walls, these pillars, with the weight of the gate on them, they actually pull over. And you see a lot of that. If you look at my lock here, you can see that it's all the way on the back side. What happens is, as the gate pulls down, it swings inward. So that lock is actually keeping it from falling down any further. I want to do that with cement. So once I get this side done, I'll move on and do that side. Well, I think that's about as much as my back's going to take for the day. But you can see, got another chunk cleared out. Got a decent pile going over there. 2 or 3 more sessions like this, and I should be able to start digging out to level. The corner behind the engine hoist there is going to need to come down some. Yeah, I'm actually pointing at the neighbor's house, but yeah, behind the engine hoist here is going to need to drop down about a foot in the corner, and you can see it continues along the side of the wall. So it's that whole area is gonna need to come down some, a fairly good amount. I want to get at least 4 inches, 4 plus. I don't know that I'll use rebar. I'll probably just use wire mesh to strengthen it up. I'm not planning on being in and out of here a whole lot. I have a couple areas left to work on in the backyard, but we're building a patio back there. It's going to be a cement dry pour. I'll get all that on video, and I'm going to put a shed up. I'm not sure how big of a shed yet. I'm not. Welcome to what I like to call my little disaster zone. This is a ongoing, never-ending, will never end project. I have a wide variety of things that I like to do, which means I have a whole lot of junk and not a lot of space to store it. So this is just a standard 2-car garage. I can't even put my truck in here. So, well, I can't put anything in here at the moment, but I have my laser that's over here. Now let's see if we can spin you around and maybe even aim you down a little. There we go. So underneath that blue sheet cover that my wife made for me, I have my little laser. There's just the corner of it. I'm not going to break any more out because I have to clean it up to do that. And that isn't the current project, but I have that, and then the bin next to it is scrap wood, and let's see, a place to sit. There's a workbench over there that's under so much stuff there's no way anything is gonna go in there. There's a pegboard that I have to rearrange because I started off setting it up for mechanical, and then I started changing it over to wood, and now it's set up for wood and plumbing and mechanical and who knows, everything, metalwork. Got the refrigerator that's going to be going away when we get the freezer. I got some of my wood tools. Here, I'm going to pop over the other side here so I can continue. And more wood tools, more wood tools. I got sawhorses down here. My little table saw there. Got my planer there. Got my lathe. Bandsaw. Tiny little thing. Doesn't do much, but it does something. Good for working with small parts. The belt sander, disc sander, and drill press, and then over where you can't see it because of the dust collector, I got a router table, and then of course I got the dust collector. Yes, the Harbor Freight model. High-end. We believe in using quality equipment here. And of course I'm always going through and doing garbage and cardboard and everything else. So, this is a kind of an introductory video. It's just kind of showing you what all I've got going on. I got a lot going on. I don't have a whole lot of energy. I'm not as young as I used to be, and I'm not nearly as trim as I used to be. So that's something else. Something else that I want to work on. I'm trying to lose a little bit of this, and of course, it always looks bad when you got crap in your pockets. There we go. Hey, all right, yeah, hey, yeah, still look bad. Anyhow, and then there's another workbench over behind there that I got to get cleaned off. I got my lathe tools out because I was making the legs for Colleen's desk. I've got everything from sprayers to outdoor tables, creepers, storage up on that far wall there. I got a lot of work to do. This is one of my other projects. This is a scratching post, or at least it's going to be again. I've still got the base. The cats managed to rip it apart. The problem with doing it alone is it's very difficult to do. So what I do is I just do a few wraps. I use glue to hold it down, hold the rope to it. I use sisal rope, and I put 5, 6, 7 turns on it each time that I work on it. I use the clamp to hold it together, and then I do it again. So yeah, another 3 weeks or so I might have that project done. Yeah, it stays out of the way. It doesn't tear me up too much, and it's just something else to keep my ADD in check. It's kind of funny to have a conversation with your cat that says, "Hey, Dad's going to talk now, okay?" Okay. So, other than the one that's by my left hand, this is the cat tower that my wife and I built. This is the reason that I am rewinding the scratching post out in the garage. You can see one of the cats is up in one of its bowls right now. That would be Boo, and Merlin just got kicked. So we built that because we were looking at all of the cat towers that were out there, how much they cost and what you were getting for value for money, and we decided we wanted to take over our living room with the most monstrous cat tower ever. There it is. So for those of you that knew me in a past life, no, I'm not letting it grow out. It will get cut down again. But for the winter, my wife doesn't, well, she doesn't like it, but she doesn't get too upset at me for letting some of the facial hair and hair on the head grow out a bit. It'll get shortened again come spring. This is good for the cooler weather. The shorter is much better for the warmer weather. So anyway, I showed you the cat tower. I'll have to remember to put that clip in before this clip. I showed you the scratching post that I'm rebuilding after the cats tore it up. For all the scratching posts that were on the cat tower, I built a different assembly. I made this. I know it looks like something from, I don't know, maybe the Flintstones. So what I do is I took 4x4s, made them round, and then I would screw them in on this side. Oh look, it slid out. And on the other side, into that, and I would spin it while my wife helped me, and we made scratching posts, production style. Sometimes you got to make custom jigs for things. All of the scratching posts on there, it would have taken us a year just to wrap those if we hadn't had something to wrap them on. I originally was thinking about using the lathe on its lowest setting. The problem is, even at its lowest setting, it's still so fast that you'd end up with rope burns and the rope wouldn't lay out nice. We took and coated that with a little bit of glue, and then we'd slowly rotate. I'd hold the rope, have a hammer in the other hand, and tap it so that it would line up nice on the post. Now, I'm not doing all of that with this one over here. This one is just being hand wrapped. It's short, it's a single, it's a tube instead of being a solid piece of wood like the other ones that we made. I'm going to tilt you down just a little bit. So I'd have to have a different jig to make that happen. It wouldn't be a big deal making it. I just don't see the reason to put the time and effort into it when it's only one. I do have a couple others that are going to need to be done at some point in the future, because I do have another cat tower that's in the bedroom, but it's not something I'm going to worry about right now. So in the meantime, I'm back out in the garage. It is early on Monday. I have a bunch of cardboard and garbage to get rid of, so I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. I'm not going to make you watch. Don't worry about it. It is Monday morning. I didn't come back out on Sunday. On Saturday. I didn't come out at all on Sunday. We went out and hunted rocks, found some nice ones to put into the yard. I also have a gutter next to my driveway that when it rains hard, the water washes out the rocks in the corners. So what I do is I get bigger rocks to put into the corners to hold the rock in place. I'll show you that in a future video, I'm sure. But for right now, I'm just going to get a little more cleanup done in the garage. I have a bunch of garbage that needs to go into the container so it can all go out, because Monday is garbage day. Yay! Alright, well, this was supposed to be just a short little video to kind of introduce myself and what it is that I plan on doing. You can tell I'm kind of all over the place. I have a lot of different interests. Biggest thing is actually getting out and doing something and not sitting on the couch watching TV. It's very important to me to keep moving. I used to be active all the time. Then I got kind of lazy. So now it's time to get moving again. That is the plan. Lose a little bit of weight so I'm a little more comfortable in my own body, and start doing things and enjoying life a little bit more. Big thing is getting the garage ready. I enjoy doing a lot of different types of projects. The cat tower was the reason why we bought a bunch of these tools, but with the idea that I was going to continue to do woodworking. So I am going to do that. In addition to that, I do have a welder and different metal tools. I'm trying to decide if I want to, maybe build go-karts or mini bikes or something like that, or if I want to make metal art, or there's so many different things that you can do. I really do want to try and start doing a few things and enjoying working, moving, living life. And of course, trying to do this is a lot of time spent editing out videos for whoever happens to want to watch me. So I do appreciate it. Please, if you like the video, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. I'm going to try and post up as often as I can. I can't make any guarantees right now. I have a full-time job plus life.